Hi, I'm Jenni Noyes and I am here today to talk about the creative process. Yep, haven't changed, slept in these clothes. It's a day of filming, so all these videos are being filmed in one day. What a beautiful day it is, and I'm so excited to be sharing all these different ideas with you that have been a huge source of inspiration to me. A big part of the creative process that I've been designing and working with is hugely inspired by the tarot. Lots of people have ideas about the tarot that they're not comfortable with it. I myself felt the same for a very long time. That's okay. You don't have to get into the magical, witchy realm of it. It's just more something that's interesting that I want to share with you that I've found about it. So I'm big into synchronicity. I'm big into when I see similar numbers, I like to work with that. So you will have seen, if you've seen the other videos so far, you will have seen a running theme of the number 7. And now we're going to look at the number 20. So when I explored last week, when I was looking at the chambers of the heart and that duality of masculine and feminine energy, I also established that there are 20 main arteries that work, that transport the blood throughout the body. And I thought that was fascinating because the major arcana of the tarot is 20 individuals, and some people say 21, but really it's the journey that the Fool goes on. So the Fool is the first card, and you are considered to be the Fool. I am the Fool. We're on a Fool's journey in the major arcana. In the Egyptian mythology, we have a similar number, and I found basically the same characters, but the human experience was represented by Sun Ra, the sun god. He rose and died every day, and so he's at the beginning of the journey. So we have these 20 individuals that the sun god or the Fool go on in terms of a journey through life. And this cycle completes itself again and again. I think it was Lewis Carroll that said, and we will arrive at the end of all our journey, we will arrive at the end of our journey in the same place and know that place for the first time. So once you go on these epic journeys of people through films, don't you? And they might end up back in the place they started in the same house or something. And they've changed internally. So this idea of 20, so we've got the 20 arteries, we've got the 20 steps for the Fool or the hero of the journey. And when I was exploring astrophysics or quantum mechanics, I don't know, they all feel the same to me in terms of that's really big and that's really small, but they sort of seem to mirror. As above, so below. So excuse me if you're into labelling and categories. So when I was exploring physics, Brian Greene started saying about the number 20 and about how, so I'll use the quote, when we look around the world as scientists have done for the last 100 years, there appear to be 20 numbers that really describe our universe. The mass of particles like electrons, quarks, the strength of gravity, electromagnetic force, and it goes on and on and on. So the number 20, well, I found that in Egyptian mythology, very similar to the tarot. Who knows where the tarot originated? Some people say, the 1500s, some people say 300 BC. No one actually knows where it came from. Joseph Campbell did an exploration very much inspired by Carl Jung, who talks about archetypes. And the archetypes are the major arcana of the tarot. Archetypal energies are, in this example, are characters we might meet along the way. Someone with great power, someone who knows how to go and be in a space on their own and learn to nurture their own light. someone who can go in deep into the underworld and find all the difficult stuff about society and work with it, and different archetype of energies. Oh, such big concepts. Anyway, Joseph Campbell, he was hugely inspired by Carl Jung. Carl Jung coined the term archetype. And Joseph Campbell found that there was a journey that every story throughout history, whether films, books, fireside stories, they all seem to go through this same journey of meeting these certain archetypes. So there's a huge synchronistic moment when we bring together the journeys, the human journey. And I suppose the reason why I'm telling you this is because, again, it lines up with this idea of conscious creation. Again, Carl Jung looks at unconscious and conscious. And working with archetypes really helps you to say, what do I want? Can I make something manifest more consciously? We might look at someone and say, I can't do what they do, but I really want to. I can't do it because I am this kind of person and this is my story. But really, when you hold up a card, a tarot card, and say, hey, there's this character here, can you reflect that character in terms of talking about how that character, you could bring more of that character into your life? And then you start to step outside of your comfort zone. You start to say, actually, I can be anyone that I want to be. I can consciously create an environment. It's just very interesting. And rather than feeling like a victim, rather than feeling like we are constantly reacting to life, we can create our own destinies. We can be the master of our own destinies. From personal experience, I've talked a lot in the other videos about how I believe it's a very masculine society that we live in. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of outcome-orientated decision-making. And really, you know, it's when I was writing music before, I was creating a sacred feminine space for me to express myself. Something would happen to me and I'd be like, right, I've got to write a song and make sense of it and have that space to be feminine and explore how I feel and make sense of feelings. But that just ended up with a whole load of music that I didn't want to sing time and time again. It was created in the moment. So I didn't want to keep having to return to that moment. So when I started getting into this idea of conscious creation, it was like, okay, can I write music like a daily mantra that will help me to grow into someone that I want to be? So it challenges me and reminds me of who I want to be every time I sing it. And so the only time I write now is when I'm not feeling emotionally charged. It comes from a very balanced, calm space. I think we're over this idea that artists have to be tortured and, you know, well, we're not actually over it yet, are we? Still, some of the most powerful songs are written from a space of, this is my pain. And that's beautiful and it's great and it's all got a place. Just for myself, I wanted to move away from that and have music that inspired me every time I sung it. So yeah, that's me talking about the major arcana of the tarot and the Fool's Journey and Jung and Joseph Campbell and the number 20 in physics. Epic stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to come and have your own experience of the creative process, do get in touch. It's an 8-hour course that can be done over 2 days or 2 hourly sessions over 4 to 5 weeks. So I'd love to hear from you if you have any comments, if there's any videos you would like me to explore to support my journey in expanding and understanding the creative process of life. It's no biggie.